the last BIM session where we looked at window styles. This session we'll be looking at roof lights. And some of you are probably quite familiar with it and know how to use the tool, but it's not really a tool. It's not it's not a click and play tool. You have to access it through sort of various methodologies, inserting a 3D symbol or accessing the Vectorworks library's 3D symbols. So the first thing we need to do is to be able to sort of add a skylight file to the resource browser. So if you open up your resource browser and click on the little icon at the top that looks like a settings tool, that has a drop-down tab, and scroll down to add new favorites file. Little clock. If that's not working, we can scroll down to your. Has everyone got their subscription libraries open? Has everyone got access to that? Mm-hmm. If you haven't, I've imported some skylights that you can use. But if you haven't got your subscription libraries open, so if you scroll down to your Vectorworks libraries and then Objects Architecture. Yeah, that's one way of doing it, but it sort of takes you through a root folder. But the other way of doing it is to scroll down to your, if you have your subscription libraries. I'm not sure everyone's got that. If they haven't, just wait to step out, because I've added some to the file so you can play around with them. But for now, if you just want to sort of scroll down to your Vectorworks libraries and then Objects Architecture, and then Skylights. And they have two built-in folders at the moment. We'll select the Velux Skylights and right-click and add selected file to favorites. On the Velux Skylights file, if you can locate that. If you can't locate it, it's not a problem.
I haven't got the option.
Oh, download first then, sorry. Just quickly download it. It won't take long. We're all doing it at the same time, so it might take. Done?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so add that. Yeah, add that to your favorites. So now you'll be able to sort of, it comes.
You should already have the objects.
The objects, yeah. Definitely. Thanks. Cheers out.
So you've got all of them.
Oops.
I'll grab.
Pencil objects, I don't know.
I'll speak him off a minute.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, the subscription libraries. So if you just refresh libraries, you can bring in all the Sorry,
That's okay. There we go. Right. So if you haven't already got the objects or the Vectorworks libraries, just hold this. Just wait out this step because we've got some important already. So yeah, if you've added that to your favorites, you can access it quite quickly. It asks you which folders to drop it into. Just drop it into the root folder. So and if you go to the top, you'll find it under your. I've got two now, here and here, in the favorites. Now you'll have a selection of roof lights to choose from. I'll just make this window a little bit bigger. So if you choose one of the roof lights. Oh, are you in? Yeah, if you're okay with that, that's.
Do you want to just,
Yeah.
Max, do you want to just talk through that feature of the resource browser? Because that's kind of a useful thing.
What having a favorite?
All resources versus like being able to see.
Okay, if you go to all resources. Yeah, sorry, yes, it's slightly changed, but still not coming out. Okay, if you go down to the button, and now right click on the. On this one, yeah. That's a favorites file.
Sorry, have you guys all found those of you that downloaded the libraries?
Yeah, at the top here, it's sort of changed. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the resource browser's changed, isn't it? It has a different sort of GUI
Does it not give series of objects?
architecture.
Oh,
Yeah, architecture.
yeah, sorry.
And yeah, make sure that your menu is selected to all resources, so it comes up with a selection. Okay, well, I mean, if you just want to, just use the. The only reason why I was adding it to your favourites is that you have access to it quite quickly, rather than having to scroll through. You can add things to your favourites. You can unadd them. You can delete them if you want. But
Yeah, no.
if you can, yes.
And if you go over
Sorry,
to
I do know how to use
there,
the menu, I just.
That's all right. That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
So if we all got we all got sort of Velux windows in front of us, can we select?
Yeah.
If it's not our favourites, it doesn't matter. That's just kind of a shortcut to have. Maybe potentially if you're using certain things a lot, or you just don't fancy scrolling through menus. Okay, so select a roof light and right-click on the roof light and make active. And then in the file, I hope you've all got the file open, choose the roof face that you want to drop it onto. And it should come up immediately with the menu to edit the roof light. Has everyone got that menu?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm all familiar with it. There's in the top right, there's an edit mode menu, and if you select edit skylight, it comes up with the setting out for the roof light, which is in relation to the building edge. So let's just okay that for now and see where it drops the skylight. Do we all have a skylight in the roof? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this distance is from where? From the center of the slope part? Or?
It's the building line, I believe. I think that's. Let's have a look now. So if you select the roof, click on the roof, and there's a little sort of grip handle on the skylight itself. It should have. Oh no.
Yeah.
If you just select the roof on its own, potentially. Oh, you haven't got any. Ah, yes. Okay, sorry. If you just tick on here, and then tick on these ones, yeah. That right there. Make sure you've got your grip handles turned on in the top right of your sort of general menu up here, over in this area. Sometimes you don't get them if you've got it on the disabled interactive scaling mode. Right. So click the grip handle next to the roof light, and up comes the menu again. And it's from the I believe it's from the building line.
So in the roof still there is a setting to have an eaves overhang. So that's probably how it's working out. So you have your kind of pitch line, which is where the pitch is taken from.
I think it's coming from the wall.
You think it's that type of?
Yeah, because when you draw a roof, you draw it on the edge of the wall, so it's calculating that's its calculating point.
Okay.
That's what I believe it's coming from. It might be from the edge of the roof, but I'd have to look into that. I don't know. But as long as you've got a roof light in, we're good to go. And you have a do not insert symbol that you can sort of click, which gives you the option of not having the symbol in. At this point, I've got to sort of talk about the how roof lights work. They're 3D symbols. They're not objects. They don't have parametric information, which is quite poor in the sense of how far Vectorworks has come in other areas. But it's a feature and a tool that should be integrated like other windows, doors, and it should be just a drag and drop and a malleable edit sort of tool feature. But it's not at that stage. We're sort of still pushing for it, but I think half the world is. Okay, so if we click back on the roof and pop the symbol back in, we are looking at trying to, because this won't pick up on your schedules or anything because it's got no data, but we are trying to look at maybe being able to add IFC data to that roof light, but we're not sure how useful that is, whether it actually, it's not really classified as an object, it's still a 3D extrude or a 3D symbol, so we're not sure. I mean, it might be able to pick it up on a schedule, but that's about it. It's not going to be any smarter than that. Okay.
Can you stop the symbol? So say you click, can you exchange the symbol?
No, I don't think there is an exchange feature. I think you'd have to start over if you want to do it again. Oh, you'd have to go into edit the symbol and copy the new one into that.
So you'd be updating the symbol with the
Yes.
wrong data, but if you swap it over.
Yes, it would swap it over. So you'd have to go into the edit the symbol itself. But I mean, a lot of you guys are quite familiar with that because that's sort of the previous way when we still use symbols. Obviously,
It's probably quicker just to delete it and insert a different if you're using a Velux one.
yeah.
It's just if you have loads of, so you're choosing to swap them.
I'm just going to mention that so if you zoom in and look at the cut hole around the roof light, sometimes you'll see a little gap and it might not be quite how you want it. Now, this is not something you should do really unless you've set everything already, but you can ungroup the roof because the only way to be able to edit that hole is to ungroup the roof and it turns all the roofs into faces, and then you can double click inside. Well, I'll just do it to show you. So ungroup the edit. Where is it? Ungroup. What if I
Command U.
Yeah.
Can you group it back?
Yes, you can group it back. No, I don't think you can with the roofs, but if you ungroup the
So if
roof,
you want to change the shape of the roof, then it's.
yeah, I wouldn't go down this route, but it's just a feature. I would if you wanted to edit the cut hole, you see how you get the option for the actual cut when you've ungrouped and you've just got a roof face, because it doesn't seem to, hasn't got a powerful enough engine to calculate 4 roofs at once, so it's just as a roof face, I believe. So I'm going to go back out of that. Because I don't really want to. I'm quite happy and it's not really visible. But I'll just let you know that you might not think that the cut hole's perfect, and if you wanted to edit it, there is a way.
Just because you're saying it's got straight sides and you might want to like splay them or something.
Yeah,
Like that.
you might want to splay them. You might want to sort of pull them in slightly to hide the gap. It's not. I mean, this one doesn't look like it's got much of a gap, but the ones that I was playing around with before had. Okay.
You could just do that in detail though, couldn't you, rather than editing.
Exactly.
I think it might be safer
Just do it in 2D. Yeah. So let's drop another one. We'll have a look at the just a quick look at the dormer roof tool, which is the same principle, which is slightly different. So if we select another make active, right click make active, and then it's just a one-click center of the other roof plane essentially. And then it should come up with the menu. Mine's come up with the skylight again, so I'm going to have to edit dormer. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the parameters for the dormer. You've got a menu for the shape of the dormer. So, I mean, feel free to choose whichever you want. I think what do we use a lot here? We use trapezium? No. What kind of? Gables? Gables? Sheds? A bat, yeah, bat looks cool. Bat looks good. Right, so we'll choose a bat. And it'll probably come in like a little bit too big. Yeah, it's coming massive. It's a big bat.
We never get panic.
So let's make it a bit smaller. I'm looking at the height offset. So I'll make that maybe 1,000. I'm not sure that's actually going to work. Bottom height, maybe 500. Play around with the parameters and see if you can get it to fit on your roof. If not, we'll make the roof bigger. But yeah, it's kind of working, but not really. The only reason why I wanted to sort of go into this is
It's like a ski slope.
so you could spend quite a while trying to get it to work. But again, it's not very smart. As in, it's just a 3D symbol. It's not an object. So you can play around with these parameters. You can change the shape of it on the right hand side. But the important thing is it's the properties, the render properties. Now, if you want to be able to control those, you select the roof say for example you wanted to change the finishes on the dormer walls, on the cheeks, or on the roof, or on the roof of the dormer or the edge, you go to render, and this is the important bit. Just get this right. Yes, it should be by object on the mode. If it's by component, switch it to by object. Okay, right. Basically, sort of going through the options of how you can edit and render the dormer in different materials, the walls, the roof of it. So if you select the roof, and on the object info tab, there's a render button. Yeah, and there's two options in the mode. There's component and by object. It needs to be on by object. And then the part below that gives you the options for the top, the sides, the dormer walls, and you select one of them, say the dormer walls, and I'm going to change the class text from class texture to texture, and then select a texture. It's a bit sort of fiddly, but it's the only way. So I'm going to put mine on. Yeah, and that's not worked. Or hasn't? No, it hasn't worked. It's not right. Walls. Yeah, that's not worked for me either. I mean, when I was running through it previously, that's how other tutorials sort of advise you to do it.
The sides have changed. If you do the sides, that's changed to from concrete to.
Oh, is that on the inside?
Potentially, yes. Mine's not showing at all. Well, that's what happens when you do a tutorial. Not mine. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that point because we play around with this for a long time. But that's how you edit the dormer. Let's try one more. We'll do the top. Is there an update button? Oh, maybe yes. That's fine. No. Has anyone had any success with that?
No. But the inside of the whole of the roof lights changed.
Oh, I changed the whole of the roof. And I changed the top, like the whole.
The whole of the roof, yes. I mean, it is for the roof, the overall thing. But then, if you look through the parts, there is the dormer walls, and if you select that, that should. Yeah, mine's not working either. Well, that's a mystery.
Dormer walls or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the basics really. Does anybody have any comments or any questions or anything that they've experienced?
Can you add the roof lights to like slabs? If we had a flat roof with a roof light in it,
Would you have a slab? I think you'd have a roof face.
do it as a roof face.
Yes, you'd have a roof face, which is a single roof. Everyone is aware of that tool, right? So instead of using slabs, you'd have a roof face, and
although if you're using the falls tool to do like tapered insulation, that only works with the slab tool.
yeah, I don't think you can insert a roof light or a window or anything into a slab,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So that would be a case of cutting a hole and putting the object over the top.
Yeah, you potentially you could do a slab on top of your roof face and then play around with the tapers
Okay.
as a separate component, which is what they advise. But
Okay.
And there you have your very large bat roof light.
It's always going to be beautiful on the face.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I talked about the dormers is I wasn't aware that you could actually control the different parts of it. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Question.
Okay.
Why do always sitting in the roof rather than on it? So my windows being cut by the roof.
Yeah, mine too.
It's sitting in it.
It's to do with the parameters, so I always play around with it. If you set the depth of it too short, then it sits it so close to the window that it sort of sinks down. So if you just play around with it, so
If you could bring the menu back up, that's on I'm not sure which option it is, but it might be the bottom height or just the height in general.
I was using a different type.
Or the building line.
Oh, okay.
and the building line offset. Yes, the building line offset is key. So if I increase that to say 400,
And if you've not got any control of like the thickness of the cheeks or the
well, if you
thickness of the roof or anything like that.
select the roof again, it's if you ungroup it, but this is when you're totally happy. If you ungroup and it asks you if you want to ungroup high level objects, yes, they've now become walls.
Okay,
I think yes, that's a wall.
right.
But the window is a window. It's,
And that becomes a roof face as well.
no, the window's a symbol.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, no, there is a window in there. No, that's a wall. So yes, that's walls, and these are just extrudes.
Okay,
That's a wall,
right.
and that's a 3D polygon. So it's kind of combination, odds and ends. It's,
Yeah.
but you can sort of replace them and have wall types if need be for the actual dormer walls.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to stop the screencast.
Thanks, Max.
Cheers.